Day 30. Ferries along the Carretera, Austral. Imagine traveling for 31 hours on a ferry through some of the world's most treacherous waters. That's longer than flying from New York to Singapore. Yet it's just another commute for residents along Chile's remarkable marine highway system.
That's such a fascinating perspective on these ferry routes. I had no idea the journeys could be that long. How do people manage such extended maritime travel as part of their regular lives?
Well, what makes this system so incredible is how it's evolved to become this intricate network of 7 major ferry routes, connecting communities that would otherwise be completely isolated. Take the Caleta La Arena crossing. It runs 24/7, like a floating bus service, completely free for pedestrians.
The accessibility factor is really something special, though I imagine maintaining these services must be incredibly challenging, especially given the notorious Patagonian weather.
You know what's really interesting about that? The operators have developed these incredibly sophisticated scheduling systems. Like the bimodal route from Hornopirén to Caleta Gonzalo. It's actually a combination of 2 ferry rides with a 10-kilometer road journey in between.
That sounds more like an expedition than a ferry ride. What's the total journey time for something like that?
It takes about 4.5 hours total. And here's the fascinating part. They've managed to coordinate it so precisely that they run 2 departures daily at 10 o'clock and 1800 hours, despite all the potential complications of weather and road conditions.
That's remarkable coordination. Though I imagine at 34,300 Chilean pesos for a vehicle, it's not exactly cheap for locals.
Well, that's where the government subsidies come in. They've created this tiered pricing system across different routes. Like, compare that to the Lake General Carrera crossing, which only costs 2,510 pesos for pedestrians. That's less than $3 for a 2-hour journey across one of South America's largest lakes.
So if we're looking at the bigger picture, these ferries are essentially acting as floating bridges, aren't they? Connecting what would otherwise be impossibly isolated communities.
Exactly. And what's even more fascinating is how they've adapted the services to different needs. They've developed this incredible network of support services along the routes, like the Puerto Montt to Chaitén service. It makes strategic stops at places like Ayacara, which serve as both emergency ports and supply points.
The whole system really shows how transportation infrastructure can shape community development, doesn't it?
Absolutely right. And here's what makes it even more remarkable. These aren't just transportation routes, they're lifelines. Before this network was established, many of these communities were cut off during winter months when land routes became impassable.
That must have had a huge impact on everything from healthcare access to education opportunities.
You know what's particularly interesting? The way they've managed to balance the needs of different types of travelers. Like the Quelon to Puerto Cisnes route. It runs 4 times a week with mandatory reservations, serving both tourists and locals who need to access regional services.
The seasonal adjustments must make planning quite challenging for both operators and passengers.
Well, that's actually led to some innovative solutions. Take the Yungay Rio Bravo crossing. It's completely free and doesn't require reservations, but they adjust the frequency based on seasonal demand. During low season, they run just 4 departures each way, which helps maintain the service's viability.
The whole network really is a triumph of human ingenuity over geographical challenges, isn't it?
And that's really the heart of it. This system represents so much more than just transportation. It's about connecting people and communities in one of the most challenging geographical regions on Earth. Every route, every schedule has been carefully designed to serve both practical needs and maintain economic viability. It's a remarkable achievement in maritime engineering and social infrastructure.
Looking ahead, do you think this model could be applied to other remote regions around the world?
Well, that's what makes this system so significant. It's essentially created a blueprint for how to connect isolated communities in challenging terrain. As we face more climate-related infrastructure challenges globally, the lessons learned from Chile's marine highway could become increasingly valuable for coastal regions worldwide.
Can you tell us the 4 most important ferries?
1. Caleta la Arena to Caleta Puelche, operated by Transportes del Estuario, crosses the Reloncaví Estuary. 2. Hornopirén to Caleta, Gonzalo. Bimodal route, operated by Naviera Somarco. Go is from Hornopirén, Leptepu, 10-kilometer road, and then Fiordo Largo, Caleta, Gonzalo. 3. Puerto Montt to Chaitén, operated by Naviera Austral, goes from Puerto Montt, Ayacara, Chaitén. 4th, Puerto Yungay to Rio Bravo, operated by Naviera Somarco, crosses Fiordo Mitchell.
With this, we finished our 30 days guide for cyclists wanting to do the Carretera Austral.
From AUSTRALBIKES. We hope you have enjoyed this 30 days journey and can use this guide when planning your next cycling trip to the CARRETERAAUSTRAL.